she was already making an impact in the world and say that's how people will remember her.
Yeah, that hurts.
Tim Wilson remembers seeing Layla Al-Matrouk just 4 days ago when she visited him at the Seeds of Peace summer camp.
That smile, those eyes, I mean, she just had a way of making you feel good.
The 15-year-old died from injuries she suffered during a serious crash with a car on Route 1 in Belfast on Sunday.
Her legacy will be this place. There are kids who got to know her in a very short period of time that will emulate some of the things she stands for.
Her friends remember her spirit.
She was like honey. Bees just attracted to her, you know, a light in the room. Just the way she was. She just, you see her, you hear her, and next thing you know, you were sitting down talking to her.
She could connect with anybody.
Yeah.
Our government must acknowledge that change needs to come.
And her ability to unite people on even the most polarizing issues.
It is time for us to yell louder right in the face of Congress.
Like the March for Our Lives rally in the wake of the Parkland, Florida school shooting.
Layla really believed that one of the ways to have a more peaceful world is to have people really come to know one another and to develop respect and affection for one another through being exposed to their ideas.
You would sit there and say, she's what, 15? You gotta be kidding me. But that was her. That was her gift.
She received the Secretary of State's 8th grade Citizenship Award in 2016. She played in the band and acted on stage.
She could work with anybody. She made a point of working with people sometimes who other people didn't want to work with.
Always respectful of everyone's perspective, even as she sought to build consensus.
Layla's friends call her a change maker, able to inspire others, even now that she's gone.
Here's somebody at 15 that a lot of folks a lot older could learn a lot from.
Layla's sister says she will be buried in her home country of Kuwait this week. The family is asking for space as they grieve, but they plan to have a memorial service for Layla when they return to the United States. A vigil will happen this Saturday at 7 p.m. at the Steamboat Landing in Belfast. That crash is still under investigation.
In God We Trust, displayed in public schools required by law. This topic has a lot of you riled up today. We posted this story from Tennessee on our social media pages, and you guys were pretty split on the issue. Starting this fall, all public schools in the state of Tennessee will be required to display In God We Trust. The state will provide a sign, or the school can make its own. The law passed in March and had overwhelming support in the State House, but not all of you support it. It's time to vote right now in today's Pulse poll. Should schools be legally required to display In God We Trust? Go to pulse.newscentermaine.com or open the Pulse tab in our mobile app. Some parents think this is a terrible idea.
I think if you put one religious statement up there, then you either have to put, you know, a religious statement for every religion that goes to that school or none at all.
Now, the lawmaker who sponsored this bill says, In God We Trust is our national motto. She says we need to teach our kids about our nation's history and the founding documents that guarantee us freedom. So make sure to vote in our Pulse poll and comment right now on our Facebook or YouTube live streams.
Some big storms last night, and rain is in the forecast again.
Keith, will tonight's storms be as bad as yesterday's?
No, they shouldn't be. By the way, we have In Carson We Trust on top of the Weather Center.
Yeah, right.
Todd takes it down every morning, but I put it up every night. High temperatures today in the low 80s. You know, it was warm, but it wasn't as bad as it felt the last 2 days with heat indices in the upper 90s then. Current temperature still in the low 80s. Water temperature bubbling up to a balmy 70, and most of us still pretty mild here through the next couple of hours. Dew points also high, upper 60s, low 70s, so the humidity still a factor tonight. We do expect some showers and thunderstorms, although thus far it's been relatively quiet because some of the mid-level clouds have softened the sun and some of the instability. But if you look to our west and southwest, you start to see some lines developing here, well to the west of 495 in Massachusetts and coming through the Lakes region of New Hampshire. So all of this has to advect its way through Maine. It'll do so later tonight into early tomorrow morning. So these storms might be a little bit later. They're going to be a little bit later than yesterday's storms. Here's our first line that's coming through 93 here from Laconia up into Plymouth. And again, we'll be moving in towards the Sebago Lake region in the next couple of hours. So some of these thunderstorms could be strong, but it will be later on in the evening. Guys, I get some good news for you if you don't like the humidity, though. We get a break, at least for a couple of days. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
Thanks, Keith. The state representative accused of sexual misconduct with his students could soon face an investigation by the House Ethics Committee. A Republican lawmaker will submit the formal request for the committee to investigate Democrat Dylan Bates, and then the House will vote. If the investigation moves forward, Bates' colleagues will decide his future. Bates' term is up in the fall. He has already announced he does not plan to seek re-election.
Now, let's say you saved $1 million for retirement. That's a pretty good amount, right? Well, not necessarily. A new study by Go Banking Rates found it really depends on where you live. Moving to Mississippi? Great! That nest egg will last you almost 26 years. But Hawaii, and honestly, who doesn't want to retire in Hawaii, cuts that number in half. Go Banking found $1 million will last just over a decade there. So how does Maine shape up? Not too great.
That's the $1 million question. Get it? Okay, we came in 38th because of high housing prices, and the study also notes it's hard to save $1 million here in Maine because of high state income taxes. Okay, the Oscars are for stuffy, independent films that nobody really pays to see.
At least that's kind of the general consensus. For the last few years, that's been the buzz around the world's most illustrious film awards, but the Academy is trying to change that. The telecast will be shorter, and parts of it will be taped, so the speeches and transitions can be cut down when necessary. The awards will also be earlier in the year, but the biggest change is a new category.
Right, the Oscars will try to stay relevant to a modern audience by offering an award for achievement in popular film. So mega blockbusters actually stand a chance. The Shape of Water and 3 Billboards walked away with the most awards this year, but they weren't exactly hits at the box office. Many people complained they had never seen them or even heard of them before award season.
Meanwhile, huge hits such as Star Wars, Wonder Woman, and Finding Dory were snubbed. And there was a lot of Oscar buzz for Wonder Woman's director, the first female to direct a huge superhero film. But the origin story didn't get a single nomination. So achievement in popular film could change that. But so far, the new category is not getting a lot of love. We couldn't find a single positive reply to the Academy's tweet, and we looked. Eric said, "Are we going to rename Best Picture Best Unpopular Film?" Another user asks how popular film will be judged, saying it sounds like a lazy way to include movies that audiences like but aren't artful. And then there's a connection a lot of people are making. A Screen Rant contributor tweets, "You bring this in the year of Black Panther? Subtle."
All right, well, the first ever Marvel superhero movie with an African-American lead is up for Oscars consideration come February. It's one of the highest grossing movies of all time and is lauded for its cultural significance. But already fans are predicting it will get snubbed this award season. This tweet about sums it up: achievement in popular film or the Black Panther Memorial Award for movie that we're afraid won't get a Best Picture nomination. But what do you think of the Oscars' new category? Comment right now on our Facebook or YouTube live streams.
All right, we've seen blue lobsters, we've seen white lobsters, 3-clawed lobsters even. But here's one we haven't seen, a cotton candy lobster. The Portland waterfront restaurant Scales posted these photos to its Instagram, saying a lobster provider dropped off this multicolored crustacean this weekend, but staff used a rowboat to return it to the ocean.
I love that they took it upon themselves to throw them back in the water. Love
From
it.
farm to table and now table to ocean.
Exactly. Okay, prepare to have the Plain White T's stuck in your head, the hit single that could be turned into a TV show next.
And she sent a message to God, but it was a local minister who answered her prayers.
What's up, everybody?
Robert is saying, "Give me $1 million here in Florida. I'll let you know how long it lasts." Well, no income tax, right, in Florida?
Right.
Yeah, cool. What happened? What's going on? What's going on? What happened? What happened? I don't know. There's a lot of these questions. Sorry, guys. Look what went through here. Well, hello. Definitely not here. What? I'm a little confused.
Stay safe. Are you guys, Kelly, Gail, Mike, James, Carol, are you guys talking about the weather? Yes. Oh, maybe they're talking about something related to the
Live
caption?
streams?
Young life lost, color may never. No.
Paul, tell me about it. Rainbow lobster? How about tie-dye lobster? Like it?
Yeah. It sounds like the intro to a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
Two little boys I used to nanny for loved that book. It was like my ticket to get them to actually settle down for nap.
I feel like there's not a lot that rhymes with lobster. If Dr. Seuss could have written a book rhyming the word lobster, I'd be
He
pretty
would
impressed.
have, yeah.
If you guys can find a rhyme where Dr. Seuss used lobster to rhyme,
Yeah, let us know.
you should definitely send us an Ask Now, because we need to put that out there.
So yeah, if you guys are maybe our friends who are asking what's going on, maybe they joined a little bit late into the stream, so maybe they were just catching your story, which was really sad today.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm not sure, but maybe you can catch us up to speed
It was
with
really
that.
tough. I mean, I talked with a lot of people today who knew Layla very well. An advisor in one of the feminist groups that she was a part of, this guy Tim Wilson, who's one of the senior advisors at Seeds of Peace. It's a summer camp in Otisfield that brings together not only kids from the U.S., Maine and all over the country, but also kids from these really war-torn countries or countries where there's a lot of conflict, and they bring them together and basically put them in the same environment, the same setting, to talk about why do some of these issues exist, because they're growing up, for example, like Palestinians and Israelis are growing up in a life where they don't like each other just because of all the conflicts that have happened in the past. And so that was one that I did like 2 years ago. I saw that story. Favorite grilling recipe. Reynolds Wrap is offering $10,000 for the 2-week position, and of course all travel and lodging is prepaid. So basically you travel the country, eat great food, post foodie Instagrams, and get paid 10 grand. Sounds pretty good.
It does.
Want to apply? We have more information on our website and mobile app.
All right, a high-tech way to
Things are
protect
changing
our
and they're
fisheries.
changing quickly.
And not for the better, but you can do something to help the bay. It's as simple as knowing the colors of the rainbow.
And stormy skies are rolling in. Keith will track the rain next in his full forecast. That's a different forecast. Yes.
Yes. Keith, that was funny.
Where is the audio? Lost my sound.
I think we're back, right?
Oh.
Start there and there, so
Yeah.
you don't have to look at me now.
Like I have to switch this table to actually switch things on that.
Got you.
And by the time she started, I couldn't do that.
Guys, we had an air traffic control issue in the Digicenter.
A mobster lobster.
Okay, so
That's really good.
So Clay used to like do the events for his fraternity in college or help plan them.
Yeah.
And they would have themed parties, and one of them was mobsters and lobsters. And you could either come dressed as a mobster or a lobster. And it's funny because a lot of the friends who got married like from that time, they would post like throwback photos leading up to their wedding day. And a lot of the throwback photos for many of these couples that we've gone to their weddings, the girl's been the lobster and the guy's been the mobster.
That is
And it's just,
so-
when it's out of context, it's really funny.
Like, what is this photo?
They
Why
had,
is he wearing a fedora and why does she have claws?
they had some funny ones. They had like Tritons and, well, no, he's over there. I'm not going to yell across the newsroom. They had other ones that rhymed that were really clever. And G-rated,
Yeah.
I will add.
Yeah.
They are safe for air. Oh, Rachel, I love the B-52s. She says, how
Rock
about rock
lobster.
lobster?
It's funny. We had something we were working on with that for a while.
A monster lobster. Hey, Fred.
Did you guys vote in our Pulse poll yet? If you go to pulse.newscentermaine.com, you can vote in our Pulse poll. Should we display, or should it be required to display, "In God We Trust" in public schools? The argument is that it's our national motto, and that people should know about our country's history and how we gained our independence.
Yeah.
Go to pulse.newscentermaine.com or hold the Pulse tab on the mobile app. And vote in that poll. I'm curious to see what you think, because there's obviously, when it comes to religion, that guy that we heard from in the soundbite makes a very good point. If you put up one, shouldn't you have to put up all the other ones?
Right.
But then the lawmaker makes a good point too. So.
Yeah. Sam, regarding your question on YouTube, I did see it. Hilarious.
All right, our smartphones can do pretty much everything nowadays, even detect pollution in the water.
A new app is changing the way Mainers can detect pollution and climate change in Casco Bay. Sam, how does this work?
So the app is called Color by Number, and the science behind it has actually been used for more than 100 years. And it's literally as simple as taking a picture of the water, comparing it to a color chart, and hitting send. The color of water can tell you a lot. People like Richard France
I'm going to go over here.
want to learn as much as they can.
The picture is being recorded.
He's using a new app that puts a modern twist on an old way of testing water for pollution.
I walk about a half mile and take literally about 4 different shots within that distance.
It's called Color by Number, and it works like this. First, you take a picture of the water. Then the picture will be overlaid with different color bars.
And then I'll swipe through the color bars until I find one that is a close match to the color of the water.
The different colors determine things like levels of pollution and abundance of plant life. It's a way for researchers to keep track of changes within our waters and what's causing them. Here in Maine, it's keeping track of changes within Casco Bay.
Things are changing, and they're changing quickly. People are noticing it in the weather patterns. They're seeing how much shore erosion there is. The tides are getting higher.
Kathy Ramsdell is the executive director of Friends of Casco Bay, the organization that started the app. The goal is to add these findings to nearly 30 years of data they collected.
We can't be everywhere all the time, and we think this is a great excuse to get people out close to the water on a regular basis.
Other researchers have already used this type of data to figure out what is impacting the Gulf of Maine. Ramsdell says the results have been pretty dramatic.
The Gulf of Maine has gone from a nice green-blue color to a yellow-brown color on this Farrell-Ooley color scale, which this app is based on. We don't really have quantities of inshore data.
Which is where volunteers like France come in, helping build a database for Casco Bay with the touch of a screen.
That's all there is to it from my standpoint, and then it's up to the people who interpret all this data. Very quick and easy.
So there are specific days and times that the data needs to be collected. So if you're interested in using the app, you're going to want to check that out. It's going to be on our website. Guys, back to you.
All right, Sam, that sounds really cool.
I feel like that's something you would be interested in.
A little sciencey. I like it over.
Would you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always interested in any of that data. And it's interesting right now, too, watching the buoys, the 4407, just oscillating between the warm water that's at the surface and what's upwelling beneath it. So we'll go from 70 to 65 on that buoy throughout the day this time of the year.
I'm going to sound so smart around the dinner table later on when I say the oscillating of the buoys.
I think it works. Well, you're already married. It works great at a bar. I think people really respond to it positively. Yeah.
Calling your wife.
Anomalies, oscillations, teleconnections, pretty sexy. All right, current temperatures in the 80s, and there you go. Water temperature 70. As of noon, it was 66, so it's moving all around there. Buoy 4407 off the coastline. Current dew points 70 in Wiscasset, 72 in Lewiston, 66 in Augusta. So still humid out there. Of course, not as brutal as the last 2 days because the temperature just wasn't as high. So it's in the mid 80s is what it feels like in most spots. 88 in Lewiston, 87 in Augusta, but we were 100 for the heat index yesterday afternoon. All right, visible satellite showing some clouds to our west. A lot of us, though, actually saw pretty much a sunny day with just a few clouds here and there. But there's some showers and thunderstorms starting to develop. A little bit behind schedule, but they'll get here later tonight. You can see them moving in from southwest to northeast. And the first line is moving through the Lakes region here, as it typically does. So through Winnipesaukee, and then it will be on its way probably just north of Sebago. But there'll be more showers and storms popping up throughout the night tonight. So pencil in a chance of them. I'd say it's probably about a 40% chance of showers tonight. Some of us do stay dry, particularly along the coastline. Thunderstorms may last all the way, by the way, till 2, 3 in the morning tomorrow. Now, tomorrow is an in-between day. We start with a sprinkle. The middle of the day is partly sunny. That pops up showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. And then Friday looks spectacular. And finally, we start clearing out the humidity. After it hangs on through tomorrow, watch the dew points swish down here on Friday and into Saturday morning. Saturday morning will be the most crisp, right around 50 for a dew point, which is very refreshing. And that probably stays that way a little bit on Sunday, and then it returns, the humidity does, it looks like, for next week. So the humidity probably back Monday afternoon, Tuesday, and into Wednesday. So enjoy the weekend. The weekend actually looks great. Friday looks good. Saturday is the drier day. And then even Sunday, it's not humid. So if you have to pick days to be outside, the weekend ones look really nice.
And if we've had all of this heat, I mean, it's been humid, yes, but to get the rain, I know for a while we were in kind of that moderate drought. So
still are. Yeah, we still are. So that actually has not been helped, even though there's a lot of moisture in the air. You know?
Okay, well, we'll take that rain. All right, let's check in now on our Pulse poll. Should schools be legally required to display "In God We Trust"? Starting this fall, all public schools in Tennessee will have to post the national motto, but not everyone is on board. Right now, you're saying that about 69% of you are saying no, schools should not be required to display "In God We Trust." There's plenty of time to vote in our Pulse poll. Go to pulse.newscentermaine.com or open our mobile app.
So lots of people saying religion doesn't belong in school, but this next story is about a young woman who really needed help going to college, so she asked the man upstairs for some help.
And a minister here on earth answered her prayers. Here's Chelsea Beimfohr.
God, help me go to college. God, this is me again. Please help me get everything I need to leave Wednesday. I love you. Amen.
It's a note Makia Curry never thought anyone would read.
I just wanted to write a note to God and just ask him for help.
The 18-year-old is heading to Albany State to pursue a degree in nursing.
I'm the first one in my family to go to college. And I'm doing this so my little brother can have a better life. I have a 7-year-old brother.
But as she began packing up her things, Curry realized she needed some help of her own.
Refrigerator, comforter, stuff in my dorm.
So she turned to God, penning a prayer on a scrap of paper and sending it into the sky, attached to 3 Mylar balloons with her phone number.
I just thought maybe somebody would just pick it up and throw it in the trash.
And someone almost did.
It was just there by the dumpster. And I walked over and picked it up, and then there it was.
On Monday, Jerome Jones was working at a construction site in Jones County when he spotted the balloons on the ground.
That was God calling me. You need to answer to this, and I did.
Jones is also a part-time minister at Springfield Baptist Church in Monticello, and he and his church decided to help her out.
It was beautiful. It was kind of hard to explain. But she was like, "Is this mine's for real?" I said, "Yeah, it's yours." God answered prayers, baby.
After tracking her down at her Macon home, Jones hand-delivered a mini fridge and a comforter to Curry's doorstep Tuesday morning.
I enjoy helping people, especially young people. That's our future.
Reminding us all that the power of prayer can travel a long way.
Yeah, I hope other people pass it on and just try to help somebody else and help me too.
And Jerome says he plans to stay in touch and she should call him if she needs anything else.
Nice work by my friend Chelsea down there. There's a lot more news coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30. Let's check in now with Cindy Williams with a look ahead. Hey, Cindy.
Hi, guys. A tent city in Bangor torn down. But did the homeless population displaced by that get the help they need elsewhere? We're going to speak with local homeless shelters to see if they've been taking advantage of those services. And before you get into a fight about your air conditioning with a loved one, how much electricity does that AC actually use?
All right,
it's always a
looking
point
forward
of
to it.
contention in my house. What about you guys?
Same here. We're looking forward to it, Cindy. Brain drops when we come back.
Sweet. Yeah, Fred, isn't that a great story?
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
Sweet.
I worked with Chelsea in Macon when I went down there to cover Tropical Storm Irma.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she's awesome. She's really great. She actually just ended up getting a little promotion. She's anchoring now, so proud of her. Way to go, Chelsea. I just texted her the intro, and I was like, exclamation point!
Did she say anything?
I don't know. I just sent it before the story aired. So.
It's so funny because today, actually, a little behind the scenes action, we have this website where all the NBC stations can upload video to from across the whole nation, all our sister stations, and I was looking through it for some inspiration, for some ideas, for stories, and I saw a story posted by one of my former colleagues.
Oh,
and
no way.
It was so cool to be able to watch that, and I sent her a text, and I need to be better about keeping in touch.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you see people, it's an easy way to reach out.
Oh, Jimmy says this station sucks. Jimmy, how come?
Jimmy.
What's up with the hate, dude? Yeah, are you still watching? Jimmy, if you're still watching, can you tell us why we suck? Hi.
You can just put my name down. It's probably easier.
Yeah, right.
Aw, I don't know about that.
Annoys me.
I guess, we got to be fair, we got to be balanced, so if we're not pleasing everybody, then we're doing our jobs right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can you hold this?
Oh, yeah. I've heard, yeah, that's true.
It's biting me again. Okay, thank you.
Tell us about
Is
brain
there a
drops.
Marblehead, Maine? No, it's only Massachusetts, right?
What?
Marblehead?
If there is one, it might be one of those ones that kind of.
Somebody's saying it to
out.
me like a positive, so I'm assuming it's
Yeah. I don't know. What is it?
Marblehead. You know where that is?
Oh, Marblehead, Mass.
Mass,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's where I used to nanny.
Oh, yes.
I nannied there many a summers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so we went back all the way to 1973, huh?
We went back farther than that.
Oh, really?
I'll tell you. Ryan helped me out. We did a Excel spreadsheet.
Wow.
We went back to 1948, actually. Just so happens.
Is that when they began collecting data for the Weather Service?
Well, that data.
That data.
They went back to the 1800s temperature. Okay, how humid was it again? Check this out. We went back to 1948. We went more than 10 years. We found that even go back to 1948, we're already at number 5 for the most days of 70 or above dew points, so the most humid days. We got 23 days as of today, and this week goes all the way to the end of September and into October. So we've got a while, 7 more weeks to try to get from number 5 to number 1. But if we look at it a different way, the National Weather Service helped me out with this graph, which I think is really the best way to illustrate it, which is number of hours spent at a dew point of 70 or over. So not just days, hours. Now this data only goes back to 73. However, look at that.
Wow.
Look where we are already. So we're already, it's safe to say, it's the most humid summer in Maine in at least 45 years.
How can it be so different from the year before to this year?
It's just, patterns. This is when we talk about the difference between weather and climate. This is a weather pattern, and climate is climate when you're talking 20, 30 years. But yeah, the most humid at least 45 years, and chances are even longer than that. It's just we don't have the hourly data to go back that
3-4
far.
years, we'll have another calm summer in terms of humidity.
There were some on there with 1 or 2 days of humidity like this.
Sustained humidity,
Yes.
hours and hours.
Yes.
Oh boy, get out of here.
All right, see you later.
Here's the Center Maine at 5:30.
Sure. Okay, so we just heard from Rachel, our producer, who said that it's about 70 to 30 on our Pulse poll. 70% saying no, schools should not be legally required to display the national motto of the United States, "In God We Trust." 30% of you saying yes. Curious as to why you say yes and why the others say no.
Let us
Interesting to know.
Yeah.
Right in our Facebook live stream or send us an Ask Now.
And even when this live stream stops, you can still type comments away right here, and
Yep.
we'll check them. We always do. All right, guys, we'll see you back here tomorrow.